Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Distance Dilemma podcast. My name is Shaun, and I'm in Dublin. This is Imran. He's in Turin, Switzerland. Imran, how have you been?
I love the way you didn't say week this time. Because it's been like 3 days.
Yeah, we've had a short gap between our last recording and
Yeah.
this recording.
Lately, like the past four podcasts have been like finding schedule and slot times for us. We're kind of like, we're turning into like a business and we're like just trying to find like, oh, what days can you work in college kind of thing.
This is where I'm grateful that because I have a 9 to 5, like I know, like it's 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, so like I know I'm here at my desk. To be fair, I'm usually in the office on Wednesdays, but I'm in the office tomorrow instead because we had stuff on work this week. But that's where it handy and that's where it kind of gets tough for you because you don't have the same schedule every week. That's one thing I
Yeah.
love about 9 to 5. So it's just like, right, okay, I know where I need to be. Most weeks,
I only
obviously stuff comes up, like, but 9 times out of 10, like, I know where I am every week at the same time.
I only experienced that when I worked at Marks for like 6 months because I went to like a full-time contract and every day off, every week I had Tuesdays and Thursdays off. So like that was just the way it worked. So like similar to a 9 to 5 because like the hours are the same, but it's like it's not like Monday to Friday 9 to 5. But going from that then to like now, it's like you could be working in the morning, could be working in the evening, could have 2 days off, 3 days off. So I've actually even nice week this off because two of my friends are coming over to visit, so I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So it's kind of nice.
I thought you were struggling to remember your friends' names there for a second when you were like, I was
No
like,
confidentiality reasons, we don't mention their names.
no, I know who they are.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
are we having a buffer here or what's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah. What's their names again? So I literally had to go and get like we didn't even have a duvet for them, so I had to literally go to the shop and buy them a duvet. So because like I remember my mom came over the first time and like literally all I had was like a topper, like the topper you put on top of like the sheet or oh sorry the mattress. She had like that, but she said that was perfect for her because she's like one of the people that doesn't like a heavy duvet. Where I'd be the opposite. I love like a proper snug duvet where it's like you feel like a little marshmallow. Yeah. So no, good for him. Weather's good as well. It's like 22 degrees outside. I know. Like my mom was saying the same thing as well. Like I have this illusion that like I'm doing this podcast at like 4 a.m. in the morning in the pitch black, but it's only if I open that out, like the light is just gonna shine straight in her face. Because like it's always like Sean's in like the brightness of Ireland, like during the summertime.
Like 12 noon, like
Yeah.
on a perfect summer's day. Because I also have my ring light. Like, I know you have your ring light there, but because I have the ring light and then I have the natural light coming in, so like my whole room is bright. But to be fair, when we started the podcast in January, it looked like we were both recording at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like it was dark out. Like it's just the way our rooms are laid out.
Looks like a really bad Batman cave, like
It's,
like a Batman cave before like Alfred did anything.
it looks like the office that Bruce was like, we should build a cave. We should build
Yeah.
like,
This is like the planning for the Batcave.
it's like Batcave -1.
Minus 1,000. How have you been? What's your week been looking like this week?
But I like yesterday I was crazy busy in work. Like I didn't get in from work last night until 10:30, because we were like doing some event and we done this event and the place had no lift and our event was in the top floor of this thing, so we had to go up 4 flights of stairs up and down and carrying all this collateral, like
Workout.
man, my calves are killing me still, like and then we had to go back. I had to go back into town today for like an hour to like help them pack it up again and load up all the stuff onto a bus and stuff. So like I literally like I was working from home today, like but I literally had to go into town for an hour and and just do that, like so like and like it wasn't as bad. It wasn't like we lifted all the stuff downstairs last night and put it into storage, so like it was fine, but like it was still. It was rough. Like I looked at one of the lads from work, and we were just looking at each other. And I was like, "Are your legs in bits as well?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Right." So it's not just me being a fat bastard. Like like we're both. Even the people who are fit in my job were wrecked. I was like, "Right, okay, it's not just me. Thank God."
Yeah, stairs is a bit of a nuisance sometimes.
In that hour, we had so like I said, my office days are usually Wednesdays, right? But I said it's just 2 of us in the office tomorrow because the other guys are doing these events, things around the country. So I said, do you mind if we do Thursday because I have something coming on Wednesday. I have to sign for a delivery. I have to be in the house, right? and I'm purposely being vague on this because I will tell you what it is, but I want to just get like a live reaction of Imran as to what I'm after getting. So
Okay.
I had like sorted all that out, and then it was like, okay, no, we need help loading this bus up tomorrow. So then Simone ends up having to take the day off and be here, and thank God she did, because she got a phone call in the morning to be like, oh, we're coming between 11 and 12, 11 and 1, and I had to be at the hotel at 11. So like I would have missed the delivery flat non-stop.
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
forward this to you now on WhatsApp as to what it
Okay.
is, and I'll stop being so vague for the listeners as
Yeah.
well, because I know this is probably really weird to listen to in that context. That's not. I just have like random photos from the podcast in my downloads folder, and I just like went onto a photo of Phil Mitchell chugging a bottle of whiskey. I was like, oh, I was expecting to find a photo of this thing, and it was just a photo of Phil
Oh.
Mitchell and like a photo of a girl with a point in her hand with her thumbs up, which is on one of the
Uh,
clips for next week.
I got so done there in the edit you put up there. It was so
Oh
funny.
yeah.
Done with the mouse.
So, right, I've sent it to you. So just check the WhatsApp for the podcast.
Oh, the couch game!
Yeah, we've got.
And it's orange! It looks
Yeah.
it looks class.
Doesn't it look
I'm,
fantastic?
I'm loving the aesthetic right now you have with like the cheetah print lights. Like it's so funny. Like when Finn sees our apartment, like the difference from like his like living room area to mine is like completely different. But I like this style that Finn is going for. Yeah, your couch looks brown.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that like depending on lighting, because like when we first like put it in, and like it was a bit more at like there was more light hitting it from the window because it was in the middle of the room. It looked a bit more orangey, and because it's like pushed towards the darker part, it looks a bit browner. But it kind of gives us the best of both worlds because we have a lot
It's
of
so
neon all over the
nice.
place. So
It's really
because it's
nice.
gone to a darker corner, it's not as strong and not as like harsh on the eyes. But then like when we have the lights on and stuff, it'll look really cool. Like, you know,
You did
that's
really
really
well to
comfy as
match
well.
the yeah, it looks really comfy. You did well to match the pillows to the carpet.
Yeah. Oh, gee, sorry, there's knocked my
Or
leg
sorry, the
over.
rug, should I say?
Yeah, it was kind of what we were going for from the start. Like we knew we kind of wanted something like L shaped, and something we didn't want to go for like. Well, I say we, Simone specifically was like, I don't want to get like a beige or like a grey or a black. Like she wanted to do something kind of fun and interesting and cool, like, you know. So yeah, adult decisions, you know.
Very, very cool. See, it's funny because like I'm only in my apartment for like 3 more years, I'd say, like 3 to 4 more years. So like we're still doing it up, but the fun thing about us is when we go back to Ireland, we have to like do the whole process again, which is gonna be nice because like, you're literally buying everything out straight brand new. Because I don't think we're gonna bring anything back. Like it would just cost way too much money, and it'd be easier just to sell all the items here
Yeah,
to
that's
like
fair.
either the new people want to come in or just sell it off to anyone. But yeah, no, I'm really liking the style. I love the LED Let's Stay Home sign.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
that was
You were
a
saying you
sign.
wanted to. What you said?
Go on. No, you go
You were
ahead.
saying you wanted to do that in the hallway as well. You were like
Yeah, so
saying
we're gonna
something.
so, like we painted the hallway in bland and black, and then we like want to, because like that gets like zero natural light anyway. Like I think it literally gets maybe like half an hour of light coming in the front door, um, so it's not like, it's naturally just really dark. So what we've done is we've painted it black, and then we're gonna put some neon signs around the place, and like we put a mirror in the hall as well. So the mirror has made it look a lot bigger as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and opened up a lot more space. And yeah, we've put up so like at the bottom of the stairs, like not in like in the hallway, like on the stairs, we put like a coat rack there that has like a shelf and stuff as well, and then that has like an
Nice.
automatic light that turns on. So whenever like it like senses motion, like when you're putting your coat up, it'll like light it up. So like while it's dark, that light will help you see everything and stuff. Like it looks
That's
well.
sick.
Like, you know, I'm just delighted the hall doesn't look um like it just like the walls weren't done. Like we had just torn the wallpaper off and left it like that for a while, like, you know. And to be fair, I have to give Simone all credit on that. She done that whole thing by herself, because I am dreadful, because like the walls needed like filling in with plastic and stuff, and like I painted a little bit of the hall, but Simone's done like the landing and the upstairs part, and she's smashed it as always, like, you know. So
Shout out to Small.
shout out Simone, the legend.
Yeah, next Bob the
We also
Builder.
walked in like right before we started recording, because I was working before this as well, and she was like, I don't think it's very hot here today. It's 23 degrees here today. Right?
Class.
So, and she was like, I don't think you've had enough water today. So I got a glass of water with some circular ice cubes, from my little Amazon.
That's like that meme. It's like when your girlfriend's in a bad mood and so you ask her the basic questions like, have you had more than 2 meals today? Have you drank 3 liters of water? Have you watched your favorite show?
I am under on all those metrics. I did have some water earlier, but like I'm trying to get in the habit. The thing is, like, I used to be great for drinking water, but man, the amount of times you piss when you have like 2
it's so
glasses of
annoying.
water a day is mad. Like, you know, that's one of the reasons. Like, I didn't like purposely stop, but it's one of the things that really disincentivize you from doing it. Like, you know, especially when you're like busy like us, where like, we're constantly on the go and stuff. Like, you know.
I normally like I probably would drink a lot of water still, but it's just because I'm more in the house than I should normally be. So I have a reason to like just go. It's, you know, I can just walk across the room and just get water, especially in work as well because I'm right beside the bar. Like the kitchen's like literally 10-second walk to the bar. So I try not have soft drinks. So I'm just gonna try have water. I mean, obviously if the weather is good, like, you know, now with Coke Zero or Coke with a bit of ice and a lemon, you know, can't go wrong. Summer vibes.
Hot take: I don't like lemon in my Coke.
Do you know?
No,
that is a hot take.
I don't like lemon in general. Like, I really don't like lemon in a lot of things. The only thing I would purposely like seek out lemon to put on something would be like fish. Like, I like
like
my fish. But I wouldn't, you know, lemon and Coke or like lime. I don't mind lime, but I would, again, like, it's one of those ones where like if I see the bartender about to do it, I just ask them to not do it. But if they've already put it in,
yeah. You're not like a you're not a citrusy fruit kind of guy.
No.
What's like top 3 go like fruits for you?
Fruits, bananas.
Yeah.
Number 1, I love banana. Probably apples, then, and probably oranges. Then I know that's like the most basic white boy answer for like 3 best fruit, but like, man, like, it's basic for a reason. It's like
because they're good.
Yeah, they're class, and I like bananas when they're like about to go off. Like, I like them when they're starting to bruise naturally. You know, because like I know some people like them when they're still like green or like.
Yeah, I be like them. I be like that. I like them ripe.
I think they're a bit too sweet at that point. Like, I like them to, like, you know, go
have a bit,
just get a bit of texture to them, like, you know.
Have a bit of darkness in them, you know.
Yeah.
Nah, I would say strawberries be my favorite, and then bananas, because you actually just can't go wrong with a banana like at all. I think I have a banana like every day, and then I'd go red grape. I love an old red grape, but it has to be the seedless ones. I have a big pet peeve when you bite into a grape and there's a seed in there. Because, like, why do I want to be taking the process of having to, like, spit the seed out every time I eat it? I never get that. It's like people that, like, normally when I get fish, I'll ask for fish, or I'll get a fish without bones. You know, like, if I'm having, I can't talk in my head right now. Like, if I'm having a salmon or something like that, or a cod or whatever, like, I always go for, or try to buy it without the bones, because it's just an inconvenience to, like, cut around or you know, eat it and pull it out with your mouth and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's just a pet peeve thing. Like, yeah. That's just more of a pet peeve thing.
I love fish though. Fish is like.
Love fish, and that's the thing I'm missing here is because we're not beside any sea. Like the only thing Switzerland has a lot of is lakes, but like other man-made lakes or lakes that have just melted from the mountains and formed into this little area, so they're actually lacking the fish. So the fish that we have in work is like imported from France, but it's not great. That's one of the benefits of living in Ireland is you'll always have good fish.
Yeah, our seafood here in general is like top tier. I don't know if like since you've moved, I tried oysters in the last few months. Have you ever tried oysters?
Yeah, not for me, but yeah, you had them as well.
I've had them. Yeah, I tried. It was at a work thing, and it was like at like a fancy seafood restaurant that we were getting bought dinner for, and like even my boss was saying, he was like, if you want to try oysters, this is the type of place you should try them in, because you're guaranteed to like they're properly handled. Like it's like trying a steak for the first time in a steakhouse. Like, you know, it's like instead of like having one burnt by your granny or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing as when you get a properly done steak in a steakhouse. Like, you know.
True.
So he was like, oh yeah, you should, like, you know, if you're gonna try them, get them here.
This is the yeah.
And I have to say, right, they weren't for me, but I see why people like them, you know. I get it. Like, one of the girls who worked with, like, loved them. She had, like, I think she had, like, 5 or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I get why you like it. It's not for me, but, you know, I get what the hype's all about, like, you know.
For me, it's the texture. I don't think it actually tastes bad. It's just the... how do I describe it? Like... trying to like get it down your throat is the part hard for me, and that's pause by the way. And so that's probably my only thing with oysters. Have you tried lobster? Have you had lobster? I really want to try
No,
lobster.
I've never had lobster. I've had like the thing is, I've had crab, but I've only ever had like shit frozen crab. I've never had like
Okay, yeah,
proper,
yeah,
like
proper
it's one of
crab.
those ones that like I want to like order when I go to a seafood restaurant again. Like I was tempted to get it. I was actually my boss was encouraging me to get the lobster, and the lobster was like so expensive. I'm talking like twice the price of anybody else's dish, and I was like, I cannot be doing this on a work day out.
We should
Like
go
I love
try fish. We should go try like different kind of fish at like maybe even like a paella place. You might be able to get like a lobster or
love
something like that.
paella. Paella is
Yes,
so underrated.
so
Love paella.
good, man. I love that being in Spain and just walking into a paella store.
Just most things about Spanish cuisine and like Mexican cuisine is just banging. Mexican is really like in the last like I'd say like 6 months, Mexican has shot up on my like top like food cuisine. Like I probably have Mexican once a week, whether that's like going out to Bujum or Zambrero, or like I'll make them at home. Like I'll make fish tacos here, or I'll make nachos, or I'll like do some form of burrito at home as well for my lunches or something like that. Like it's Mexican is like it's the easiest to make at home as well, because like a lot of it is raw ingredients. Like you're usually just cooking one type of meat and then throwing loads of raw shit on it in the form
We
of a
always
tortilla.
have literally we have a lot of fajitas. Like I think we have fajitas maybe once a week. It's just like our favorite meal that, like to go to because it's like a mini takeaway without having a takeaway. In my way because I enjoy it so much eating it.
Now I have to say, if you order fajitas at a restaurant, you are an attention seeker. Do you ever, do you ever
Because
see
there's the steam that's been
Yeah,
fucking
yeah. Do you
fun.
ever see people ordering them eating sizzling platters and they fucking have to shut half the restaurant down just to walk it down the fucking aisles and drop it to your table? Like, I'm
Skillets
not.
are so hard to, like to eat around the skillet as well. Like sometimes the oil just splashes up at you while you're trying to eat it.
Everything about that meal is inconvenient, and if you're ordering it, you're just an attention seeker.
I actually can't not agree with you there with that one. That is so. That's just
I'm
so
not
fun.
dissing the dish. Like, it is really nice. Like, I
Yeah.
like fajitas as well. Like, I'm just saying, if you order that in public, knowing it's coming on one of those plates, you're an attention seeker.
I would just be panicking like if I was eating and let's say I like pushed it too hard one way and like fell back on me. Like that's like burning hot oil. Like imagine being on a first date and you just like you drop the skillet onto her. That would be that would be like the worst case scenario you can happen. Like
I remember there was like a first date I went on with before, so it was obviously before I met Simone, and it was like when I was dating before Simone, like and like I ended up with Simone then at the end of all that, like but I went on a date with a girl, and we went to this place, Brewdog, up the top of the docks, up the top
yeah,
of the
like
Grand Canal Dock, right? And like you probably know this yourself. There's an unwritten rule that you don't order for chicken wings on your first date
I
because
was
they're really
literally
messy.
only thinking. I was about to say that to you after your point, but yeah, perfect one.
Yeah, so you don't order chicken wings on the first date because they're messy, they're sticky, and like they get all over you, and they leave your fingers all in a mess as well. Like so they're just not an ideal first date etiquette. Like stick to the soup or something like that. Like
Yeah,
no.
some like
But we both wanted chicken wings, and they said, "Well, do you fancy splitting these?" Like shoot, like we're grand, so like it's not as bad. So we split a
okay.
portion of chicken wings, and like, man, when I tell you, like, I have a decent tolerance for spice. Right, my nana Joan, shout out to Joan, has such a like palate for spice, and my mother was the same. Like, they all love really spicy food, so I have a decent tolerance for spice. Like, not I'm not the spiciest guy around, like for that sort of stuff, but I have a good tolerance of spice. Holy shit, man! These things came out and burned the mouth off the two of us, like to the point where like my lips felt numb after having like four, and like because we had gotten them to share, it was one of these massive ones where you got like 30 wings, like and I was like, oh my god, and we both like got like. I think we both got like 5 wings in, and we had to be like, I actually can't have any more of those. Like, like it's genuinely hurting me to get through these, like, and whatever. And then our thing came out, and our main, but I think we'd both gotten something similar, and both of our chips were covered in the exact same hot sauce.
Oh
So
no.
we had to be like, I can't eat those. Like, I'm sorry, like,
I'm presuming the date didn't go well.
It went okay, but I just decided, I can't remember the exact, but we didn't go. I don't think we went on the second date, like but sound.
The wings didn't continue the date.
No, we didn't. We never got to that 12th wing.
My biggest pet peeve is with wings is like if you order wings, like spicy wings, for example. I like buffalo sauce, but I don't like hot sauce. And the difference is between the hot sauce wings are just burning the mouth off you, where the buffalo sauce actually have flavor to it. And it's kind of like it'd be a bit like similar to Cajun sauce. Buffalo sauce is very similar with just a tiny bit of hot sauce in it. That's what I think makes chicken wings nice. It's just when you go to a restaurant and you ask for buffalo sauce wings, and then it comes and you're like, you burn the mouth off you, where it literally feels like all your gums are on fire, your lips start to swell. Like, it's not even an enjoyable experience.
Some people like to make eating like an endurance contest, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
not for me.
we're
Not
here
for
to
me.
enjoy ourselves, you know.
All right, this is so off topic, right? I just wanted to bring this up because it keeps coming up my feed, and I don't know if it's just me, it has a weird algorithm. I want to know if it's on yours. So there's a debate going online right now, and I'd be yeah. And we were talking about it in work, right? So there's a debate online at the moment, guys, talking about who would win in a fight. So it's a silverback gorilla versus 100 men at like peak performance. Like, I'm talking like Apex athlete, you know, NFL players, endurance kind of thing. Like, we're here going on. Let's even swap it. Let's say like rugby players kind of thing, right? And basically, I wanted your opinion on who would win this fight, because we've had like many debates in this and work, and being like, there's no logical thinking the way you think. Like, this person wins. So I want to see what you say first, and then I'll speak.
I would be inclined to think the 100 men could take the gorilla.
Okay, but explain first.
Because it's one gorilla, right?
Silverback, though. Have you seen a silverback gorilla?
Yeah, no, I know they're big puppies, right? I know
they're like 8 foot.
Yeah, no, I get that, right? But so my thought behind it is like, right, if it was like, if because it's such an overwhelming number against one, I think if you even like, I saw one person where like they joked and made it like 1,000 men versus like 20 gorillas, but I was like, okay, at that point I would say the gorillas would win, right? But because you've got such an overwhelming percentage of the guys, I just feel like, you know, so the gorilla, and there's the max behind it for me is like the guys could pin down the gorilla. You know, let's say it's going to take 10 guys, so the gorilla takes out 10 men, the other 10 pin them down, and then you've got another like 70 or 80 guys that can just start. This is going to sound crazy, but like they can just start going at them, like, you know.
Pause again.
Yeah, clip. So, and then also, like, you know, there's also like the maths behind it of like, you know, the gorilla has, if you're talking like just punches, a gorilla has one opportunity for one punch, whereas the 100 guys have 100 opportunities.
That's my thinking.
Punches, like, you know, so that's the maths for me says the men. So I'm gonna stick with the men. Like, as we've kind of discussed on the podcast before, I'm quite a black and white guy, so the probability in the maths for me is saying the men. So
okay.
I get what people are saying with the gorilla, though, because the fucking silverbacks are no joke, man. Like, you know, I get what people are saying. Like, you know, I don't blame people for saying the gorilla. For me, I'm personally swaying towards the 100 men. Like, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Jedward when I was younger, though. So.
I agree with you on one aspect. Originally, when I first saw the debate, I was like, "There's no way 100 men be a gorilla." And the first reason was thinking is, let's find out what the environment is. Let's just say it's like an open space, like a car park, like, and it's just open space. I think men. Yeah, like the skate park and bench. I think, in my opinion, I think the men have the better chance because there's more angles that they can come at the gorilla from. So, you know, they can come from behind, one could grab his leg, like you were saying, and they can pin him down and go at him. Pause. And then the second thing I'm thinking is, the reason I backed the gorilla the first time is, let's say they're fighting in a jungle. That gorilla can climb, and he can come up from above. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, and again, like we were saying, let's be honest. If the gorilla hits you once, you're probably dead. Or, you know, and then aggressive.
Possibility, or at least going to sleep for at least 15 minutes.
Yeah, a long time. So there's two aspects to it. My heart says the gorilla. I don't know why. I just feel like I feel bad for the gorilla a little bit because he's being outnumbered by 100 dudes that are in like peak performance. You know, like the guy who was doing like the 5 a.m. routine.
We're talking like 100 Dwayne Johnsons, like.
Yeah. We're talking like your man Ashton Hall doing the 5 a.m. routine, you know, of
The
everything in
question
his
is,
life.
can the gorilla jump into the pool, stay midair for 4 minutes, and then land? That's the question we should be asking.
I don't know, is like if there's weapons involved, like the gorilla probably doesn't have a chance. Like there's so many different
No, you
ways of
can't
looking
give
at this.
weapons. Like, yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right, but I think as well, if you're putting 100 men up against one gorilla, the gorilla needs to be on home turf. Like, you know. I
Oh,
think,
so he's in the jungle. So that's what I mean.
but yeah, well, I think if you're gonna do this logically, like, because we're obviously this is a very serious topic of conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I think though,
It's-
if you're gonna line up this experiment, you got to give the gorilla like. There's 100 guys, like, you got to give them some home turf, like, because if you, like I said, if you put him just in the middle of a skate park and branch, they can just whack his head off the corners. The gorilla doesn't have the intelligence to do that, you know.
Hey, don't slag the gorilla, man. You don't know this gorilla.
Like,
Sean has entered as the 100th man in the...
sorry for the gorillas out there listening to the podcast. It's causing offense.
Dublin Zoo coming for you now. Man, it's just literally, I don't know if I didn't know if it was just my algorithm, but like my whole feed, like the whole week, has been like every third meme or any like topic has just been the gorilla versus 100 men, and people talking about it like in depth, like in comment section, like going into like, is it on home turf? Does the man have weapons? Does the gorilla have help from another gorilla that we don't know about? Like, people are making like plot stories. I seen someone make it like a simulation as well, like of it actually taking place, and basically it was like the gorilla grabbed the first man and just started whacking the man against all the other men. It was like something out of King Kong.
Yeah, the gorilla would take out, like I said, I think the gorilla would take out at least 20 of them. Like, if we're doing this experiment, 20 men are dying minimum. You know, because like I said,
minimum.
10 will probably get killed trying to storm at first. 10 will probably get killed in the attempts to pin them down. It's probably going to take about 20 men to pin down the silverback gorilla, and then you got like 50 or 60 there left to, to punish him or whatever. Well, I don't know. Why are we having this conversation?
That's just the way you said punish him.
Imran, we're 25 now. Like, come on, dude. What the fuck are we talking? How did we go from me getting a new couch to fucking silverback gorillas against 100 guys? Like,
No, it's just because you said punish him. Oh, that's getting clipped. That's getting clipped. Oh, that's brilliant. Anyway,
did you ever see ones where it's like there's a very like specific kind of version of that meme, like where like the comments just go way too in depth, where it's like it'll be like some sort of like stupid household domestic, like, of like something not being clean, but like it'll just go like the comments and it'll just go like deeper and deeper and deeper into it, and like it's like you'd be incredible. I just found them so funny, like, it'll start off by like, like, oh, like the car wasn't washed, and it'll end up on like some like fucking
quantum
space
universe or something.
end up on like the space station or something like that. Like, like it'll just build a rabbit hole of tweets, and like, it's
Reddit.
artistic, like, but yeah, Reddit,
It's funny.
Reddit was fucking brilliant.
It's so funny you said that, because I literally watched Finding Nemo with Nicola the other night, and Nicola was falling asleep, so she went to bed early. But I was like, you know what? I started it. I'm just gonna stay up and watch it because I haven't watched it in a couple of years, and I just went. I don't know why. I went on Reddit to just read about a new Marvel movie coming out, and funny enough, Finding Nemo came up. No way your phone's listening to you. Imagine that. Anyway, and this is it.
Nemo was going to be in Avengers Doomsday.
No, literally. Spider-Man who? And basically, someone had this theory about the movie. So, Nemo means nobody in, I'm pretty sure it's Mandarin. And the theory is, at the start of the movie, I don't know if you remember Finding Nemo, but Marlin loses Cora, which is his like clownfish wife, and all the 199 eggs, and Nemo is the only one to survive. And he, obviously, the story goes on, Nemo gets taken and he goes off on this adventure. The theory is that Nemo actually died with all the other 199 eggs, and that he's basically chasing this memory of Nemo that he has of when he saw at the start of the movie, because Cora says that one of the eggs' name is Nemo, and he's like, oh, Nemo. So he said that basically it's like this theory that Marlin became like mentally sick, and that he was trying to, go on this adventure to get closer and find his way back to Nemo. It's kind of like people that have like, it's kind of similar to like way parents have lost like kids and they go on this ayahuasca trip, which is like I know I'm going on an absolute tangent here, but just let me finish. Going on when parents lose their kids and they go on this ayahuasca trip to feel closer to their children because they feel like it will bring them comfort. And then this theory is that in the movie, Dora is only being spoken to from this group of fish that are giving them directions. They don't actually talk to Marlin. So there's this theory that he actually made up Dory as well along the way for comfort as he's trying to find Nemo. I know this sounds like wild, but the more I was reading into it, and I can see the makers of Finding Nemo when they were working for this at Disney, maybe this was like a small concept that they had originally that like was like thrown under the rug, because like that happens a lot with kids movies where like there's different stuff that's actually going on behind the scenes that you don't actually notice. I know to you this is going to sound wild because you're a very black and white person, but when I was reading that, I was like, the more and more you actually look at it, it does make sense in some kind of manner. Anyway, that's my tangent finish for the week.
Well, now I'm just sad.
We went on, this is the most random podcast. We went from like talking about your couch to gorillas fighting men to now Nemo was a movie about parents trying to get closer to their dead kids.
Yeah, so 20 minutes in as well, but it's our time to go. So yeah, I don't know. Like I don't read that much into films that much. Like I like maybe with films like Inception and Interstellar and stuff where like it's like the plot is meant to be like kind of multi-dimensional and stuff, like whereas like I feel like you could like spin some sort of conspiracy theory out of every film, like and
of
I
course.
think it's just fun. It's fun to do it with kids films, like because it's such a like usually a lighthearted like.
That's what I mean.
Like,
yeah.
So like I get it, but like I said, I'm just a moody bastard at times, like, so. You Reddit
people really need to get yourselves checked out. So my topic for this week I wanted to bring to you, and it was very, very last minute because not that we're running out of topics to talk about, but I just found like the past like week or so I've been finding it very hard to like find a topic that I'm like purely interested in and I have time to like write answers for. But this concept came to me today because I saw a video of something that reminded me of something. So my topic for this week, and I actually wrote it in the group chat because this is the way I wanted to word it, was... Give me 1 second, sorry.
I can read that.
You have it in front of me. Yeah, you have it actually. Go on, me say it out.
Okay, so Imran's topic for this week is moments that will stick with you for the rest of your life. So like one question I had on this is this like public things like like 9/11, or is this personal things?
It was meant to be personal, so okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Went straight away automatically into 9/11, you know. Yeah, no. This is the maturing aspect he's at now.
Personal resonance for you, Imran. I don't know.
Number one dad killer. But
I'll let you kick off on this just because I'll let you kind of set the tone.
Yeah, and like some of these are just going to be like sport related, but
we've had a very like lively start to the episode. This shit's going to get real deep real quick.
Yeah.
This is
so the first one,
stick on the kettle, and if you're on public transport, you're probably already crying anyway. So just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, ask the lab beside you for a tissue. So the first one I had was being a kid watching the 2008 UEFA Champions League final. And the reason I say this was because I'm a United supporter all my life, and Shaun can probably agree with me in this terms. Like the joy you have when your team like plays well all season and wins something is beautiful. Because I already know, like for him, it was definitely one of the Champions League finals as well. Like he's like. Two times.
I'm lucky enough to see my team win it twice. Like I know you guys have obviously won it more times, but I've been lucky enough to see my team win it twice.
Yeah. So when I remember being a kid and me and my mom did karate back then. I was only like 8 or something, 8 or 9, but I remember the whole game and everything. And what's called, we went to karate, and then I like begged her, can we leave early because I wanted to watch the final at home. And back then, this is when like the TVs had antennas, you know, like when you're literally trying to get the best signal. I lived down in Cavan at the time as well, and we got back to the house, and I literally ran in the house in my karate gear, and I like refused to get like, because my mom was like, oh, go shower and stuff like that. I was like, I'm not showering at all until this game was over. Obviously my mom didn't think the game would go to extra time and then go to penalties as it did, and then obviously everyone knows it went down. John Terry slipped and then we won the game. But like that for me, I just remember bawling my eyes out as a kid, like just with pure happiness, like to see your club win something. And for then, like obviously during that time period, it was great being United supporter growing up because we were the top dogs for a long time when Sir Alex was there. Not so much these days, but that's just one memory I have being a kid that I like. It's gonna stick with me forever. Like that, it was just pure happiness. You can go off for the next one.
I'm on the absolute opposite end of that scale because I was on the losing side of that final.
Yeah, true. Which is funny enough, Chelsea supporter and stuff. So
yeah, I'd not like similar in a way. I'll kind of like, I don't want to kind of like say the same stuff that you had, but I remember the day Chelsea. So when we won our Champions League then in 2012, so that was a Saturday night. You know, similar to what Imran says, and to be fair, we actually played shite that season as well. We were really, really bad that year, funnily enough. But we came 6th in the league, but we won the Champions League. So, look, grand, and it's like such an amazing feeling, and that's great. And then the next day, I was playing a match myself, and I was like, I've never been the best footballer. Still am to this day, like, you know, and especially like then I was like trying to play striker. For anybody who knows me personally or has seen a photo of me, I'm not built to be a striker. Like, you know, I'm built to stop things going into the goal. You know, it's just due to my height and my width. You know, but so the next day after that, me and my team were playing football, and I was playing striker, and I scored a goal in the last minute that won us the league that season. So, you know, I probably wouldn't have brought that up because, but like it's something that whenever I think of that final, that always kind of pops into my head, you know. So like, you know, it's kind of like one thing where I was like, oh my god, that was a great weekend because on the Saturday we won the Champions League, and then like I had personally like helped us win the league, like for my team, like, you know, your Parts Town, shout out Hearts. Were you on that team?
no, I wasn't. I was down. I didn't join.
You were on the team after, weren't you?
After, yeah, the team after. The thing is, like, most people laugh at that, but in my opinion, it's like if you grew up playing sports, and like I'm sure every lad who enjoys football has dreamt about scoring in front of a packed stadium, last minute winner, and diving in the corner on their knees, like it, or like taking their top off and just running crazy, like jumping into the crowd and shit. Like every lad has thought about this.
Some poor woman walking at Jack Russell.
Yeah,
I didn't actually.
The poor Jack Russell's like,
I got her face. I was like, come on, your Parts Town. She's like,
nah, I even get that as well. Like I used to love like just scoring in games. I never really scored a last minute winner, but I did score a couple of good goals and stuff like that. But
I a lot from when we played football together. Like I don't remember like a lot of like single games. Like I remember a lot of
training sessions.
Games, like, and
training sessions.
Was so fun.
So training, that was like my most enjoyable time playing football.
Because do you know what was great about that, right? Because when we were on a team together, we were past the point of like, I was like, right, this group of lads, they're not going to make it pro. That doesn't mean we were all dreadful. You're still quite a good footballer. I think I have my strengths. I don't think I'm the worst footballer in the world.
No, definitely not.
Like, but it was very clear that, like, you know, it was a group of lads that were not going to be making a pro, like, you know, so it was all a bit more just for the laugh and the kind of camaraderie of it. So
yeah.
It just made it much better, like, you know. That was a great year playing football, to be fair.
And it was just like wild, awkward footballers. Like some footballers literally had like 2 left feet, but they'd score like absolute bangers in training sessions. I won't name any names, but there's one guy I can think of, and like he was terrible, like shocking, like he was great crack like on the team, but like he'd shoot from like he missed from like 2 yards with like a tap in, but then he'd shoot from like 45 yards out with his left foot, and it would go flying into the top corner. Everyone would be like, "What the hell?" That was such an enjoyable time playing football though. Like I remember because I played football for the school as well a couple of times, and like Asher with the lads growing up as well. Like, and that time period, I think it only lasted like maybe 8 months as well, the whole season, because I joined late as well, and it was just such so fun. Like it was like loads of different people from school as well that you probably wouldn't have actually talked to that much as well, and everyone got along great, and the managers were really good, cool as well. Like, but yeah, that was another good one. I'll go on. I did have another sport one, but I'll say it anyway. But I won't talk too much about it. Basically, Dublin won the All Ireland 2011. We hadn't won it for last time we won it before that was 1995. Growing up, Derry, I've talked about him before on the podcast, he used to bring me to games all the time. Like, I've been to over nearly 1,000 Dublin games, something like that, all throughout the years, because I've just been to them all the time growing up. So, like, something deeply in my heart that I've always had with me. Like, I love watching the Dublin games now. Don't get to go to them as much when I started working and stuff like that, so we just used to go to ones here and there and try to get tickets for the final and stuff. But anyway, we won in 2011. I brought Derry along with me because at the time we just ended up winning tickets out of the club. And there's just one memory I have for it. So basically, at the end of the game, I won't talk too much about it. Stephen Cluxton scores like a last minute point to win us the All Ireland from like 45 yards out. It was great, terrific memory. Everyone was buzzing and stuff like that. But Derry saw one of his mates, and Derry's a small fat lad, like with a bit of a bear belly. You know yourself. Like I'm not gonna do him bad. He is. He's
respect on Derry, man.
Yeah, he's like them minion looking lads. You know what I mean? Like, you know, bald. Plays golf, has a bear belly. Shout out to Derry, we love you. And
yeah, Derry, don't mind him. Like I remember meeting you in Super Value shortly after he left. Like, you know, I value you and your existence and your presence. And
yeah,
don't listen to him, man. Love you.
He's making me out like I hate him. Like, I'm just saying the facts here. Like, anyway, I'm the kid. Like, I'm 11 years old, and I'm going crazy, jumping up and down and stuff like that. But Derry like saw his mate, who also is bald and has a belly, and he comes like running. So I'm like 11 years old, in between, getting like a belly smacking like this, and like they were like hugging and like jumping up and down. There was flares and everything. But I just my only memory is my head just whacking between them two bellies. Oh man, I literally will never forget that till the day that it was just so funny. Like, and everyone was just in the best humor as well. So yeah, another sport one related, but I'm sure you might have a couple of more.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and like steer clear.
Yeah, that's my last sport one anyway. Yeah, that was my last sport one.
I suppose. Do you know what? Right, man. The day we covered this one already last week, so I'm just gonna give you one really quickly and then move on to like an actual one where I'll talk a bit more about it. But yeah. I don't think I'll ever forget passing my driving test last week.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's such a unique feeling, and we talked about it loads last week, but I'm still buzzing off it. And because we've recorded these like last two podcasts in quick succession, I still haven't got my license yet. Like it's due in the post tomorrow. Like, you know, so I still like haven't been out in the car like since last recorded. But I don't think I'll ever forget that day. And then kind of like on a similar like kind of personal achievement kind of thing, like the day I got my degree, I was so proud and happy with myself, like, you know, because you've known me through school as well. Like, I was never like the smartest person in class. Not like I know I come across quite thick as well, and like on this and whatever. But I'm not the smartest guy around. But like I'm also like kind of fairly average intelligence wise, like, you know. But I'd always like put myself down. I was like, oh no, like I don't think I could ever do a degree. I didn't think I'd ever have like the discipline in myself, and I didn't think I was like capable and stuff. So like I just remember like the day I graduated, and like, you know, I was in the robe and I was doing like the whole, you know, the whole graduation thing like that day, like, you know, and I remember like having my degree in my hands and being like just like really proud of myself, and I was really delighted. And then like that day I went out with my family and stuff, with like both my sets of grandparents, and Simone was there as well, like, you know, so that was awesome. Like, and it was so nice, like, you know, to like have everybody who was like, you know, obviously I have other family members who just couldn't have been there because work conflicts and stuff, but like it was like really nice to be in the restaurant and kind of just have things be about me a little bit, like, you know, because I don't often, you know, take that time to make stuff about me like that with like day to days and stuff. Like I only kind of do when I feel like I've earned it, like when I passed my test, or like when we done the headline gig last year. Like, you know, that's where I kind of they're the few times I take to celebrate myself properly. Like, you know, like say I'm proud of myself, like, you know, and that was definitely one of those days where like I was just like, yeah, like I'm really buzzing with myself for this, like, you know. Sure, you can relate as well. You're also a man with a degree.
Nice. Nice. That whole like 10-second clip there was just nice. No, I can agree with you in that sense. I think for me, college was just a bit of like up and down roller coaster. It was just I had loads of family shit going on that whole time, like that whole experience. So for me, it was more. I don't know if I was proud of myself. I think I was just happy to get over the line and finish it. It was a real like up and down lifetime during that whole process. But I was happy when I just had the degree in my hand to say, yeah, I finished something. But I'd say for me, what actually happened was after that experience, being able to go traveling with Nicola for like 3 months was like the best experience ever. Like seeing all different parts of the world, or parts of Europe that I didn't think I'd ever go to, like all these cities I don't think I'd ever go to. And I saved hard. Like I did not take any money out to go on that trip at all. Like I saved my ass off for like 2 years properly. Like, and by the way, like during this time, like I was living in a friend's home, and like in the back of my mind I knew that's all I wanted to do was travel. And blatantly, a lot of the reason I wanted to travel so much as a kid was because I have a cousin named Sarah. Shout out to Sarah because I know she listens to the podcast. But she was like similar to me, like really like invested. Like I'd rather spend like barely any of my money and go traveling like 10 times a year, 12 times a year. It's just what I'm into. It's just things I love. I just love meeting new people, different environments, cultures and stuff like that. And recently I've been trying to get into like tasting more different kind of foods that I wouldn't normally go to. So but yeah, that for me, yeah, oysters. But yeah, for me, I think just being able to do that and spend that time with Nicola as well, because we've been together for so, like, we're 8 years together now at the end of this month. Shout out to us. And and just being able to like experience that with someone else was like I have so many stories. We could do a whole podcast on the amount of funny stories I have, and I've told you most of them as well. We must do that. Like we should do like a funny stories podcast about that.
We'll
like
have to bring the girls on one day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and as well because like Simone would have a really interesting perspective of before. So just before COVID, so this is before we met. Simone was actually planning on moving to Finland.
Yeah.
But the pandemic got in the way, and then like you know, it just didn't happen. And like we started going out while we're in the pandemic. Now I didn't like stop her. Like she had kind of moved on from that idea, but like that was something that was supposed to happen. Like you know, so she might have an interest. And I think it's funny because like the podcast we actually talk about like distance dilemmas for a bit, maybe 5-10 minutes. Like you know, and the rest of it is just us talking about cinema and whatever's going on. But like that's what makes it fun as well. Like you know,
I kind of like the way we do the podcast where it's it's topics that we actually find interesting, like things that me and you would talk about on a daily basis, cinema, sport, having the crack, all these different topics. Because this is stuff me and Shaun talk about on a daily basis anyway, like when we used to meet up. I like the idea, like every 5th or 6th episode that we do bring it back into like the topic of the distance dilemma, because ideally this is why we started the podcast, was to keep our friendship going. Not like our friendship wasn't going to keep going anyway. It just, I feel like we're a lot closer because we have this. We take time out of our weeks to like talk. We have a child called the Distance Dilemma, and she's on her 15th week now. So she's 15 weeks old. Congratulations. I don't know if you had any more. I have one more, but I'll let you go on.
I have one or two more that I can go through. I kind of touched on this last one, but the headline gig that I done last year, was like probably the best day of my life, like real.
Not surprised.
Oh man, like that was just fucking brilliant. Like I was again, like I don't often take a lot of time to celebrate myself, or like while I'm like quite a creative person, I'm also like not very nonchalant and like being like I just do it to create stuff. I don't seek a lot of like approval or praise. Like I kind of just like, oh, I'm doing it for me, like but that day, and like I did want to do it for me, and like but it was like I knew like this was going to be like a showcase to my friends and family of like, all right, okay, this is what when you say, oh, how's music going or whatever, like this is like the personification of that, like and just everything about that, like the weeks leading up to it. Like I was only thinking about it the other day because the anniversary of the show was only like 2 weeks ago, because it was 13th of April, so yeah, we're just over a year since the show, and I was just thinking back on it, and like I would not change a single thing about how that day went. Like it was perfect in every single way. Like, you know, I was really happy with the set list. I was happy with how things went before the show. The only thing I could say is like I didn't get a lot of time to stop and take in what was happening. Like, you know, and that was just because the day was so busy. Like, you know, I pretty much left my house at 2 o'clock that day to get into town for sound check, and I blinked and it was like 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And a lot happened, and that's why like I had like Liam and Lisa. Shout out to Liam and Lisa for being there to take photos and take videos and to capture stuff, and like, you know, like as well, because I was seeing so many people. Like, obviously you guys were there as well, which meant a lot because I knew you guys were going as well. Like, you know, so it was great that you guys were able to be there before you took off. And you know, I had lots of friends there from, like, you know, when I was in college before, and people I used to work with, and like, you know, everybody really banded together for me, and I really like appreciate that. And like, I was really proud of the show that we put on as well. Like, you know, was it perfect? Probably not, you know, being real, like, you know, but it was something I was incredibly proud, and still am incredibly proud of, like, you know. So that's always like one that we're like, I'm like, fuck yeah, we did it proper as well. I also done it all by myself. You know, shout out to the guys in the band, shout out to Keane, Shane and Jack as well for being on stage at the time. They fucking smashed it, and rehearsals for the weeks before were like also some of the best crack ever as well. That's not dissing Billy and Adam, who are in my band now as well, like, you know, just while we're talking about that particular day, like, you know. So yeah, like I'll never forget that day, or hopefully I never forget that day for the rest of my life.
And you should be proud of yourself because it was brilliant. And I remember me and Nicola were like, we were in complete shock because I've seen Finn like about 5 times before he had done like his first headline gig. I have seen him do like a lot of acoustic sets and stuff, but that was the first time I'd seen him with a band, and I was like, me and Nicola were actually blown away. Like, I remember Nicola said it to you like 4 times that night. I'm pretty sure after that, she was so proud of you. But my funniest thing about the whole gig, it was brilliant and everything. My favorite thing was Simone holding the iPad for your mate. I'm sure, Finn, like Simone's girlfriend. Finn's girlfriend Simone basically held like this iPad screen like while Shaun played like a couple of songs for his mate back, I think it was in the UK, Lewis, I think it is.
I think it was Zoom as well, because I think him and my friend Sam were in. So and he was in like a cowboy costume.
Yeah, and then like lighters like this as well we were playing. So I just couldn't stop laughing, like, because Adam was like really drunk and he was like crying, and then I was like looking at Simone, and I just could not stop like literally wetting myself as Simone recording this. Yeah,
it was something actually. Sorry, I'm not just trying to like fill in the space to talk about my music here, but one of the things I absolutely loved about that night, and I was biting my tongue and trying not to spoil this for so long because I wanted it to be a surprise on the night. I even said to Liam, my photographer, who like came into the studio, I was like, I do not want you to take any videos of this. Like, I want this to be a total surprise. So like I was like, tools down while this is on, right? And it was the Love Story cover. We done a cover of Love Story. And I just thought it was the fucking funniest. But it was so funny because it was fucking good. You know, like, and like I love watching the clips back. I have a lot of like, I don't have a lot because he didn't take a lot of videos of it because he wasn't sure if I wanted the videos of it in the sound house. So I have a couple of like, you know, like iPhone videos of it and like 1 or 2 videos from his camera, like, you know, but not a lot. But I just love thinking back to it. I just thought it was so funny. Like, what was it like for you guys?
I was more surprised by Teenage Dirtbag because I didn't know you were going to play that. So that was more of a shocker for me. What's called, and for Nicola it was buzzing because she loves that song, like, banger. Shout out to Taylor Swift for that song. I can't even lie, it's a slapper. And then my last one I just had was Moving Away. Like, I'm actually, funny enough, like 3 days ago we've actually been officially here a year, which is mad when you think about it. Like, I can't even. Sorry, go on.
I'm kind of thinking about that because like I have the car a year, like, you know.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was the 26th that I took it off because it was the same day I brought out Love Is a Contact Sport. And so like I remember being like, okay, like, so the car is with me a year now, so that kind of came into my head there the other day as well.
But and to think about like,
it's felt like a bit longer. I felt like you've been away a bit longer.
Honestly, if because I've came back three separate occasions, it feels like I haven't really been away from home at all. But only think about it now, I've only seen Sean physically like twice, like in the whole year, which is crazy. Like, and it's just crazy to think about because we talk so much anyway, like on the phone or FaceTiming or sending each other memes or whatever. Like, so if for me, like, I just can't really comprehend the time, and I don't know. I sometimes I feel like is it like time lost or but then it's also like time gained because you're still in you're living your life and I'm living my life and we get to connect through virtually this way. But like I'm trying to think about years ago what it was like for like families when like you didn't see your mate or your like family friends for like over like 6 or 7 years because people moved to the States, and it's very like we were saying last week on the podcast, like I say that must have been such a surreal feeling, like actually physically seeing them again. Because it's easy now in today's world like to actually physically see someone, but I'm just trying to think what would have been like if like say like if I hadn't seen you now in a year like physically, would have that been super weird to like see each other like as a human way, as like a human connection kind of thing. So yeah, I mean yeah, a year now, so looking
What was it
forward to
like
the next couple.
the day you guys moved? Like, because I remember, and we both knew that this would be the case. That like Nicola would be quite emotional because Nicola's
Yeah.
like super close to our family and stuff. Like, like how
Mm.
was it like for you? Like, the day where like you woke up, like, because I remember like the day I woke up and was like, right, okay, I'm moving into this house with Simone. Like, what was that like when you woke up and you knew that like you were doing this massive thing, like, because for me, I was moving 20 minutes away from where I used to live. Like, you're like,
Yeah.
up in your whole life and going to a new country. Like, what was like that feeling like when you woke up that morning?
Um, it's kind of weird. I felt nervous, but like really excited. But what got me was I was actually fine the whole way. I knew I had to put on a bit of a braver face because I didn't want Nicola to be emotional and panicking during the whole process of it because I knew it'll be a really tough day for her leaving her family because they're so close now, which is great. But basically, Nicola had got to the airport already, and we actually went to the wrong terminal, so we had to like park the car up, get out of the car. I was with Daria and my mom, and then we headed over, and I didn't realize like literally everyone from Nicola's family was going to be there. Like there's a photo of us, and I think there was like nearly like 25 of like the cousins and the family friends and everyone there, like, and like even all like Nicola's brother and stuff, and like the cousins that I've like spent time with, like they're pretty much my mates as well, like. And a couple of Nicola's other friends came later as well when we were going to check our bags in. But like to me, that kind of hit because it was just the way everyone was like talking so highly of you, and some people shed some tears, and people wishing you the best of luck and stuff like that. But I don't know, to physically see that many people like just there, just specifically just for you two wishing you the best it was nice, like I'm not really an emotional guy, but it did hit my heart very well, and it was a really nice experience. But I think as well, then when you're actually like Nicola was saying, when we got off the flight and having to get all the bags in this, the trolleys you see at the airport where it's like you stack them, and we had like because we had like 2 suitcases and a gym bag as well, like all in this thing. There's a photo Nicola has of me with like I have the gym bag and of all of them. That like for me like was like, okay, we're here now, like we're living in a different country. And then obviously now, because I don't even live in Zurich anymore, I went from Dublin to Zurich, lived in Zurich for 2 months, and now I live in Thun, which is an hour and a half outside of Zurich. I feel like it's from one end of the scale to the other. But the good thing, like we said before in last week's podcast or in the previous podcast, is I'm only a flight away, and that's like a luxury for me here.
Yeah.
Like if anything could happen, like if anything happens tomorrow, I'm lucky enough to be able to fly back home in 2 to 3 hours. So it's a blessing in disguise. So yeah, looking forward to the next couple of years to go.
One down, three to go.
Yeah, one down, three to go.
Like I admire you a lot for doing it as well, and like there's the whole thing of like saying goodbye and like being apart. And I think I don't know if I mentioned it like on one of the like the kind of like specials where we had like voice notes and stuff, but like just because you're in the same country or whatever, like I feel like in some ways like this has made us like a little bit closer as well. Like because while we would see each other like fair, like we'd see sure like probably 2 or 3 times a month, like when you were still here, like the fact that now like we're kind of like actively speaking every week, because it makes you value the friendships that you have, like and like it makes you like see like who will fight for that friendship to stay and go, because like I see it like with like I have friends who like who I love to bits, and like, you know, I do consider them close friends, like, you know, but I haven't seen them in a couple of months, like, you know, where like I would still even say I've seen you more recently, because when you are home, you kind of like value that time, you like clutch on to that time, because you know you have a limited period, like, whereas like it's like that thing of like, you know, when you have all the time in the world, you'll do nothing. When you have limited time, you'll do everything. That kind of
Yeah.
like theory of things, like, you know.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of looking at things, and I do get that as well because you know you have so many friends at your doorstep, and you know you don't talk to them, but then you've got a friend who's you know miles away from you, and you are actively reaching out to them to contact, just to stay in connection. So yeah, it's a funny way of looking at things, and I think the good thing I'm kind of seeing about moving away, and I said it before again on some of the previous podcasts, but you do really see who like your true friends are, and like people. It's not just like the checkups, but it's just even the actively like I've had a couple of messages of people like just saying like, "Oh, I miss you," and you know, I can't wait to see you soon and stuff like that. From a person living abroad, it really is nice, and it does make you feel still at home, like a part of you, like you're not being forgotten about and stuff like that. Because it definitely, from a person living abroad, that's definitely something that you could feel. But I think a good topic would be you were saying like about people that who have thought about moving away and never actually went through with it, either that be for reasons like yourselves where he's got a home. That would be cool to look at in the next couple of weeks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Sure.
nice podcast.
Yeah.
We went from talking about gorilla blacks to deep, meaningful conversations with your friend.
Yeah, I do have one more if you want it. Although
Yeah, go.
you might know what it is, and it might be a bit heavy as well.
Okay, go.
Do you have a feeling what I'm going to say based off what I just said?
I think so, but yeah, go.
I won't. Right, so this can kind of be broken down into like. So I say it's a day you'll never forget, but I would more kind of class this as like a period that I'll never forget, because there's kind of 3 days in particular. And for anybody who I might like just give it like a slight trigger warning for anybody who like maybe doesn't do well with like super emotional like things around like death and stuff. This might be your time to tune off. So yeah, that's just like a little trigger warning for you. But it would be like the period of when I lost my mom, which is like and the 3 days in particular. I'm gonna talk a lot. I won't go into too much into detail because like again, this could be a whole other episode. So I'll kind of just do key notes.
Yeah.
But the day I got the phone call to say she had cancer, the day she died, and then like her funeral, were three like like the day she died and her funeral, like that whole week feels like one big day, like, you know. And you know, for anybody else who has been like, you know, through that and like that, like that kind of period between like, you know, when someone dies and like when the funeral happens for the immediate family is like so busy and so crazy, and there's so much going on, and like you don't have time to breathe nearly. But yeah, for like quite obvious reasons, and as well, like me, you know, I won't go into it into too much detail because again, it could be a whole other episode, and there's also quite a lot of personal and family stuff that I don't want to be airing out dirty laundry and stuff like. No, but me and my mother were also on the best of terms when she got diagnosed with cancer, you know. So it kind of just added like a mix of emotions into the barrel, like, you know, which like she's not even dead a year. Like, no, my mother passed in August of 2024. She was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in October 23, so she was less than a year battling. But yeah, they were, you know, tough and weird days, like, you know, because like I said, there was a lot of mixed emotions going around because, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on in like our family lives and stuff as well, like, you know, that made things like, you know, and like, come here, look, it's never like nice to lose a member of your family like that, especially like, you know, I think in a lot of like the sadness came as well from like my mother being quite young. My mother was 42 when she died, so there's a lot of that, and I'm lucky enough that I still have both my grandparents, so like watching them go through it and like the day of and stuff has been like crazy, like, you know, like I feel like for me I'm kind of getting okay with the whole thing, but like whenever I see my nana and stuff, like it's still there with her, like, you know, like you can see it's like it's fundamentally changed her, like, you know. And of course it was her daughter, like, you know, she wasn't even 70, like, you know. So yeah, quite a deep one. I won't go like massively. They're the kind of keynotes to it, like, and I don't want to. We're also kind of towards the end of an episode now as well, but I did think I should say it because when you said that message in, that was the first thing that came to my head, So I was like, right, there's probably a reason for that, like.
Yeah, and fair play to you for talking about it, because I think there's a lot of people that probably listen to this podcast as well, and see us kind of joking around and having the laugh. But like, another reason we have this like podcast as well is just to have like an open space just to talk about things as well, like as men and just as friends as well. So fair play to you for talking about it, and I think a lot of people kind of relate. Now, I've been lucky enough; I've never lost anyone close to me or a family member, which is something I'll probably have to deal with eventually as I'm getting older and stuff. So I think a lot of people relate to that kind of time period within their lives and stuff like that. So fair play.
Sorry, as well, something to kind of circle. I remember, like, particularly on the day of the funeral, and so I saw Imran the week after. Imran was planning to come home, but I like the amount of people who came to the funeral for me, even knowing, some of the dirty laundry about my mother and stuff, like, who were there just for me, like people who I went to college with, people who I used to work with, people from my current job as well, like my whole current anybody in my current job who was in the country was at the funeral, and I was only in my company like 3 months at that point as well, like, so like I wasn't like, I wasn't a particularly familiar member of staff, like, like I wouldn't, like, they wouldn't have been like close friends, like, like we're closer all now, like, but I still would have been quite like the new guy in the office, like, still getting trained and, on my training wheels, so to speak, like, but yeah, the amount of people that came was like, it was like such a eye opener, and it was like a lovely sense of overwhelmingness, like, for people being there, like, it was just like I said, like people who I used to go to school with, people I used to go to college with, people I used to work with, and yeah, the amount of like faces I saw there, like it was a nice thing, but like that's something that always kind of sticks in my head, like, so like I kind of like make it my business now, because I remember appreciating it so much. I didn't realize how much I'd appreciate it until the day of itself. So it's something that like I've said now that like I will do my best to like make it to any funeral for anybody I can now, even if it's not as close to the relative as my mum was to me. I just think now, like after being in that position, that like it's it's really like it really kind of struck me, like,
I think it is a good sense as well, just to see familiar faces when you're in that kind of situation, because death is a weird kind of aspect you gotta kind of come to terms with life, because like I feel like, again, like I repeated before, like I haven't experienced anyone with my family members, but I've seen friends and family, other close families, their families experience the same thing, and I think it must be so nice from like their perspective to see a familiar face on the day. It just, maybe it makes you feel a bit warm inside or whatever, but for sure. Right. This is by far the one end of the scale podcast to the next. I have to say, for all the listeners, we went from talking about one end of the scale to the next. But yeah, good episode.
Yeah, this is very like tonally conflicting. Like the clips this week are going to be fucking mad. Like the clips are going to be us like, haha, 100 gorillas, 100 blah, 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 and then like, my mother died.
Jesus.
Or like it's some proper deep shit, like, So.
Hey, sometimes it needs to happen.
But it's just go with the flow. That's it. We're just crazy. We're just crazy girls like that over here.
I know.
Right.
Put your hair down, sunshine.
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap up here. So guys, thank you so much for listening to the Distance Dilemma. I'll just do a quick shout on socials. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram.
YouTube.
And YouTube, yeah, if you would like to watch our pretty faces, if you want to watch me and Imran almost flood into tears on both laughter and sadness in this episode, you can watch the episode on YouTube, or any future episodes you want to watch on YouTube. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to The Distance Dilemma, and we will talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys.